friends, it's Susan, better known as Shy, and I'm here today to show you how to do a spinner card. And I'm going to be using the Happily Happy, Wildly Happy stamp set. On my original one that I did, I used the elephants. Today I'm going to be using the bunny rabbits. This is a nice cling set and it works wonderful. Here is the first one I did, and it's the elephants, and I used my Stampin' Blends to color it in, and after I did it I decided I liked it better without the Stampin' Blends because I just thought it looked cuter. Anyhow, what you do is you wind it up. I go around about 20 times, which I won't make you watch, but and then when they take it out of the envelope and they open it, it spins, and it's just so cute. So they can watch it spin that way or that way when it's open. It spins both ways. So we're going to make this, but we're going to be using the bunny rabbits. I'm using the, I think it's Verdant Garden DSP paper. I use this side for the elephant, and I'm going to use this side for the bunny rabbit. And I used the third largest triangle to use my cutout. What I did was I took my 8.5 by 5.5 paper, I scored it at 4 1/4, and then I took my 4 by 5 1/4 paper, DSP, and I laid this down and I cut it out. And I do suggest putting your DSP on first because it's easier than trying to match these corners up and what have you. Okay, so we can set that aside. Now, I've already done a little bit ahead of time, trial and error, so mostly error. So what we have here is the one thing I forgot to mention, and that is nylon polyester thread. It can be any kind of thread that doesn't pull and break. You want it to be nice and firm so it doesn't break when you pull on it, not just plain cotton thread. And what I did was I laid it down across the score line. I laid it down across the score line, and I had used my snail adhesive, and I put a piece down, and I brought this nice and taut across that score line, and I pushed it down. And then I took my bunny rabbit. Now this is a very important part, and mine are already stuck down, so I'm going to show you with the panda the important part of what to do so you don't make the same mistake I do. Okay, so you've cut this out twice. You cut whatever you want spinning. It doesn't have to be one of these animals. It can be anything. It could be a sentiment. It could be a picture. It could be a flower. Whatever you want spinning around, you want to stamp twice, cut out twice. Okay, now I just cut these out in a rectangle. I didn't measure them out or anything. And so when you're putting them on your card, you're going to, the first one you're going to turn upside down so that he's right side up, upside down, and you're going to put him underneath that string. Now of course you'll have a bigger square for the panda because for this one I'm just using the bunny rabbit. Okay, so then you take and you put a piece of adhesive, I use scoring tape, and put that down and push it down, and then put more scoring tape on the top and the bottom, and then adhere the next one on top of it. And this is the important part. You want to make sure this one is upside down. And the reason for that is that when you are spinning, they're always going to be, they're always going to be right side up. So when you put them on your string, you want one upside down and one right side up, like this, so that when you turn them, they're always facing up. Understand? You got one upside down, one right side up. The string goes through the middle, and then when they spin the correct way. So we've got that done here. And all I did was use adhesive to put the bunny rabbits down, and now I still have my string. I haven't cut it yet. And I have put some tear and tape here on the string, and what I want to do is I want to take a piece of Whisper white paper and put right over top of that. Now where did my other piece go? Of course I've lost the other piece. Oh lordy. Okay. The things that happen when you're online. All right, so I'm just taking my score tool and I'm just kind of going along the line where that would be. Let's see if I can find another piece of Whisper white. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to cover the adhesive and make it look a little neater. Now don't adhesive it down, just measure it, because if you go to cut it, you'll cut your string. You don't want that to happen. Okay. So take that, put that down on top of that adhesive. If you still have any adhesive sticking out, you can always run your embossing buddy if you have one over top of it, talcum powder, anything like that to get the sticky off. Okay, so now because you've got adhesive in there, you've got tear and tape in there, and now you have another piece of Whisper white in there, you really want to burnish this down, making sure that it's nice and square, and you burnish it. Really push that down, turn it over, do it on this side. Okay, now we're done with the thread. We can cut that right off at the edge. Okay, and what we're going to do is take our designer series paper and turn that upside down so that, take our designer series paper, turn that upside down so it's the contrasting color of the back side. And we have a piece of Whisper white that's already been cut to size to fit here. And again, this is going to be dependent upon how big your sentiment is, depending on how big you make your card. What you want to do is you want to measure from the top of the spinner down to the card, and you can see that that's 4 1/4. Excuse me, 5, not quite 5. So enough has been cut down that it will fit in an envelope. And you can see on this side that it's 5 1/2. So it's 5 by 5 1/2 because this raised it up. Okay? So again, you can use either side of your paper. I'm using the contrasting side. I'm going to adhere that down. When you're using your snail, you want to make sure you don't touch that part, because as you're using your snail, that part spins around. And if you have your thumb on it, it will clog it up. So you want to make sure you put your thumb here and your finger up here on these ridges. And then just tilt it like a check mark to take it off. And then you line it up this DSP actually has little lines, make it easy on you. And then I'm going to stamp. So tiny, so small, so loved by all. And as I said before, I use the Memento stamp ink just because it doesn't bleed, and make sure that we get, oh, got my finger in it already. Hopefully that'll be straight. Hold it down just for a moment. I think I twisted it a little bit. It might be blurred. It's good. Imagine that. All right, and then I'm going to take my chamois right away because I like to make sure that they're clean. Take my chamois, rub it on there, and voila, it's clean. Works great. Okay, and then I can peel this off. When you peel them off, you want to get them from underneath because you don't want the white rubber separating from the red rubber. So you want to make sure that you pull them off. These are the new cling stamps. And then just set your block aside, and you can put it right back in your box. And I keep this paper in here, even though I've already got them peeled off, most of them, because I don't want it sticking to this. If it sticks to that, it's really hard to get it off because it's very clingy, hence the name Cling, and I don't want to ruin my stamp. And of course I put my stamp in black ink, and now I have it on my glove. Okay, so we'll cover that up, and then I'm going to use dimensionals. I guess I didn't put those out. Dimensionals to pop it up my seine. And I keep mine in this case here. This is one of the wooden cases. And then I just cut off the Stampin' Dimensionals from the package that they came in. And I use that to keep them all in. I have my minis in there. I have my glue dots in there. I have lots of different dimensionals in there, and keeps them all in one place for me. So I'll just take that there, and maybe put one in the middle, and then I can just, best thing I like to do is push it down in the middle, and it creases it, and it gives it an easier time to come off. Push it down. You can do it with your fingernail. You can do it with your pen, whatever you have. And that makes it come off nice and easy. Make sure it's right side up, and pop that down. Now, I also have some contraband gems that I'm using. These are not Stampin' Up. They're something I had before I began with Stampin' Up. But they match so well, I thought I'd go ahead and use them. And I take my pokey tool, and these are, looks like 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. I think I'll take the large, put one right there, another large, put one right there, and then I'll take a little one and put one there, and a little one right here. You can do it however you like, put them wherever you like. You don't have to put them on at all. And then what you want to do is you want to add whatever sentiment or picture or whatever you want on the inside, your handwriting, whatever you need in the inside. But after you've done all that, and before you put it in your envelope, you want to spin it. It doesn't matter if it's which way you spin it, just keep spinning it around the same way. And like I said, I go about 20 times. You can see when it starts to bow the card is when you've gone too far. You want to stop. So then you would hold this down and put it in your envelope. And then when they pull it out of the envelope, it's going to start spinning. Okay? And when they want to see it again, they spin it around. And this time when they open the card, oh, it didn't spin that time. What happened? Spin it, spin it, spin it. Takes quite a bit of spinning, especially if you don't get it real taut. And as many times as I've spun it around, it's getting a little looser. There we go. It's spinning. And there you have it. So tiny, so small, so loved by all. Happily, wildly happy stamp set from Stampin' Up. It's a wonderful thing. If you'd like to buy any of the supplies you've seen here today, with the exception of the gems, you can certainly check my online store out. And in the meantime, have a great day and check back soon. I'll have another video for you. Take care. Bye-bye.